Alright, the next story quest is called A Greater Purpose, given to us by Alphino. We are still in... oh gosh, there's plus quests. Gosh darn it. Yeah, whatever, I'll get to those. Shit. We're in the Tempest, but that's the zone. So, sorry, we're in Amarat. Gosh, I couldn't remember what the city name was. Here we go. We'll get an ether current and some more materia stuff. We can compare notes once the others return. Hopefully then our next move will become clear. Cutscene? Yeah, here we go. Please talk. They're probably not, but please. We're going into like what we have learned. It's a long presentation. It would seem our conversations were much alike. A looming disaster, creation magics running rampant, and this convocation's efforts to bring salvation out of chaos, says Ystrola. I suppose there was talk of little else in the time when these events came to pass, says Alphino. Yes. Urianger, if I may, what are your thoughts on the ancients' art of creation? Says Ystrola. A fascinating discipline indeed. Art the mind can conceive may be rendered in reality. All that is required is a clear concept upon which to focus one's will. 'Tis not dissimilar to the primal rites taught by the Scions, wherein ritual ceremony breatheth life into figments of myth and legend. I see we arrived at the same conclusion, then. The people who lived in the age before the Sundering were blessed with vast reserves of mana. No matter how draining these creation magics must be, it seems they paid the cost with not more than a fraction of the ether which coursed through their own bodies. If we were to attempt the same, such spells would soon deplete our energies, and then seek to draw the balance from elsewhere, from a hoard of crystals, mayhap, or from the very land itself. Thus, when this art of creation was placed into our hands, it became, in effect, a means for destruction. Alcé says, an interesting matter which no doubt bears further study, but despite all these revelations, I worry we are no closer to finding Emet-Selch. Has anyone learned aught which might lead us to his location? Not directly, mayhap, but from what we've heard, it seems the Convocation of 14 is sequestered in the nearby Capitol building, says Thancred. When we went to see for ourselves, the attendant wouldn't let us through without a writ of permission. So we tried our luck at the Bureau of the Administrator, where we thought these permissions might be issued, but the clerk said he couldn't help us since our names didn't appear in the registry. And that was where we gave up. I wonder, though, Mercy, could you be eligible for one of these writs? The voice in the lift seemed to know who you were. It might be that your name is registered at the bureaus as well. Worth a look, I'd say, says Thancred. All of that. Meanwhile, I'll head back to the capital and search for a less official point of entry, just in case. Pray allow me to accompany thee on thy reconnaissance. An arcane perspective may prove needful. He shrugs. I think I'd like to speak with more of these ancients. Mayhap they know something that could help cure Mercy's condition, says Reen, approaching Alcé. Would you mind coming with me? Alcé looks shocked for a second, but then smiles. Of course, I don't mind. Just lead the way. Reen smiles, nods. She's kind of looking tired, but I don't know if that's just me or drawing or intended or... Then Ystrola and I will busy ourselves with further exploration. There is surely more intelligence to be had. And so we part ways once more. This time, however, let us reconvene in front of the Capitol. Reconvene was the obvious word. For some reason, I thought I saw a freaking R and C, and I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Alcohol. There's the Batmobile guy again. Trying to see how much my headset microphone will pick up. I did set it to try to ignore any sounds that didn't seem to be like deliberate speaking. Hey, we have unlocked access to the etherite, so let's go grab that. Oh, we've got some more people here. Alright. And actually we do have to go into this building, so I guess we had to come down here anyway, which is awesome. Some large, ornate, kind of bronze brown double doors here. And straight on to the desk where the administrative clerk is. A visitor's writ. Yes, I can assist you. Full name, please. Mercy Valkyr. Please wait near the counter while I confirm your details. To a destination where we will wait. And as bureaucracy always takes a while, it does indeed take a while to wait. Mercy Valkyr, your application is ready for collection. As your residency was approved by Emet-Selch himself, further forms of identification will not be required. Here are your application documents. Submit them at the Bureau of the Secretariat, and the clerk will issue you a visitor's writ for the capital. Alright. Gosh, that looks like it's far. Oh, man. Let's get to running, eh? Maybe I should have looked to see if there were plus quests first in order to get... they probably still wouldn't, if I did all three of them, I probably still wouldn't be allowed to fly yet because, you know, it would make all of this tediousness unnecessary of running along pathways and down ramps and up ramps and blah, blah, blah. And they want you to spend... Oh, there's enemies finally. A Cubus, which is kind of like a tar elemental kind of thing, but like no taller than like 7 feet. Interesting. And there are more down here. A big open space kind of courtyard with some nice growing trees, and all the trees have like some purple atop them. Like they have multiple color leaves, maybe like greens and browns, but like the purple on top is kind of the dominant feature of beauteousness. Making up words because it's fun, sure. Those are the only enemies I have seen still. It was Cubus, like black kind of tar elemental things. Kind of like a blobby tar monster with arms. But no legs, just a moving blob. But like a... Yeah, like a, I don't know, like a blob-shaped torso and head. There's no neck, just like one ovular kind of, yeah, anyway. Got some double doors here. Some benches where I guess the people here are waiting patiently for their number to be called. Alright. Secretariat clerk, what's up? This desk is another like 0.8 me higher than my head, so almost double. Like if I was 2 times higher, my head would barely be peeking over the desk. Like my chin might be on the desk. Next, please. Hand over my visitor's writ of application. Visiting the capital, are we? Please take a seat. Your name will be called once your application has been processed. I'll sit right next to... Oh, this other person was doing the same thing. And I'll be waiting. Cutscene. Oh, I guess they were like mid-cutscene or... Yeah. We're sitting on one of these way too tall for us benches. We get a flash of blinding white pain. We can still see, though. It's just clouded by a lot of... May I? Says another one of the beings. Sits next to us. Ish. Our headache is gone. You, I think, are from a time beyond ours. Have you followed in the wake of Emet-Selch? Nay, there is no cause for alarm. I am simply a shade, here and not here. I know only that my name is Hythlodeus, and that's this city is a recreation, a phantom moment plucked from the well of history. Sorry, I can't. The being thinks. These others seem unaware of their pale existence, but I wonder if Emet-Selch's mind was distracted when it came to my reconstitution. A stray thought would have been enough. Hythlodeus will realize the truth. For example, we were close friends once, you see. Pardon me if this is weird, but that's... Yet, in spite of my perception, I play the same role as all the rest, a bit part, meant to bring color and noise to this well-crafted stage. Too much scrutiny, we shall burst like the fragile bubbles we are. Thus I tell you again, my presence is not to concern you. I wish only to share your company whilst we wait. And he turns back to the front to sit. If you've come this far, then you know of the catastrophe which awaits us on our quote-unquote morrow. Yep. The final days. What began as isolated incidents soon swelled into a world-spanning threat. The convocation of 14, well, it was 13 at the time, endeavored to create a will for our star. They would repair the fundamental laws of order and halt the spread of destruction. But creation on such a scale required an immense source of power. Of those of us who still lived, nearly half offered up their lives in the name of salvation. We see one of the beings in line near us fade. And from their sacrifice, Zodiark was born. Just as we had hoped, he reached forth and halted the march of oblivion. Yet, oh, how the star had suffered! So many species lost. The land was blighted, the waters poisoned, and even the wind had ceased to blow. Once more did our people give of themselves to Zodiark. Another half of our race sacrificed to cleanse the world, to ensure that trees and grasses and myriad tiny lives would sprout and grow and flourish. So that's another one fading from this line. The cycle of life had begun anew, and we reconsidered the means by which we might protect it. The convocation decided thus: we would nurture our world until it was bursting with vitality. Then, when the time was right, we would offer some portion of its living energy to Zodiark. In return, he would restore to us those brethren whose souls had fed his strength, and together we would resume our role as stewards. There were, however, those who disagreed with this plan. They argued that enough had been sacrificed to Zodiark, that this new world should belong to the lives newly born. These dissidents surrendered their life energies in the creation of Heidelin, an incarnation of their opposing belief, and for the first time in history, our people stood divided. Know you, then, how this conflict ended? You nod. I thought you might. And we have a flash of white, and we see the city as it is. Sorry, I see Emet-Selch walking amongst Emet-Selch has ever been champion for the will of Zodiark. The original plan may have been set back by millennia, but he will not have abandoned his course. He will pay the price for our return by whatever means is necessary. And though he may carry himself with a certain glib ease, Emet-Selch is not a man to bear his burdens lightly. In fact, I imagine they have only grown heavier with every passing century. He continues to walk, stops now. Eyes dull as ever. He closes them for a second, head down a bit, and back up. "'Tis truly a terrible weight he has chosen to carry." And then Emmett begins to walks again. The screen pans up to the sky, the tall buildings, and we're back in not the present, but our location with this being. "Mercy Valkyr," says the secretariat clerk. "It seems your turn has come. Pray do not let me keep you." Sorry. I nod. "Thank you for all that information. I have to jump down from this bench. It's so tall." I start to walk to the desk. "Ah, there was one last thing. You walk with another at your side, yes?" I walk with like a bunch. "Oh, Ardbert." "Nay, I see no definite form, just the faintest suggestion of a second soul. I doubt it visible to anyone but me. Otherwise, I assume only you can see and hear this ethereal companion." Yeah, the being kind of giggles a little bit. "Your connection is hardly a coincidence. In our time, the two of you were one. The color of your souls tells the tale. A hue that distinctive cannot be mistaken, no matter how thin the soul is spread." The being looks up. "This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as she. Surely Emet-Selch has recognized the hint of her in you." Ardbert crosses his arms. The secretariat calls my name again. "Mercy Valkyr?" "Fare you well, my new old friend. May you find what it is you seek." And we turn, and Hythlodaeus is gone. And our cutscene fades. That was good. That was good shit. I enjoyed that immensely. "Your visitor's writ, as requested. When you wish to gain admittance to the capital, simply present the document to the attendant within." And all of the beings that were seated at all of these benches are gone. Everything is empty except for the secretariat clerk. I can actually save a little bit of time by going to the Ethernet here for 100G. Okay. And then Jazz Wolfenstein. 3D. Go. The Scions have gathered once again. We'll speak to Thancred. "Finally, you were gone so long I was on the verge of mounting a rescue party. How fared you in your bureaucratic ventures?" Hand over the visitor's writ. Cutscene starts. "Ah, I see my instincts were correct. And a good thing, too. Early on, Jay and I weighed our chances of breaking into the capital, and an official entrance is by far the more attractive option. The capital boasteth not a single armed sentry. 'Twould seem that in their time they did not deem it needful to post guards. The windows and doors, however, appear heavily warded. Though mightily did we strive with strength mundane and magical, we failed to budge them even a fraction of one ilm. Mayhap 'twas simply the case that Emet-Selch's recreation did not extend to their usual function. Tancred nods. We didn't try everything, of course, but we thought it best to conserve our time and energy for more pressing matters. Speaking of which, Reen and I tried asking about a cure for you. The problem is, these ancients didn't exist beyond Amarat's today. Amarat's quote-unquote today. They will happily tell their own tales, but whenever we attempted to explain our situation, the conversation quickly became muddled. Yishtola's eyes are closed and they open now. What of you, Mercy? Was aught worthy of interest said during your efforts to obtain a writ? I go into my explanation of the conversation I had. The screen goes dark. We're back. A great sacrifice of life in exchange for their brethren's resurrection. And you say all the Ascians' scheming has been leading to this? Alphino. He looks down. All this time. But if they still mean to enact this plan, then things won't end with the rejoining. Y'shtola hands at her hips. I thought we knew their intentions in full. Restore the world to its former glory, and in turn, empower Zodiac to reclaim his throne as the will of the star. Yet that was merely a step along the way. I hesitate to put it into words, but we have to assume that following the final rejoining, the Ascians mean to draw on the lives of the Source to make their sacrifice to Zodiac. Alphino nods, agreeing. That does seem the most likely scenario. Mayhap those who ally with the Ascians would be spared that fate. But what value is there in surviving when all our history, all our struggles will be erased? I cannot conscience such an act. Of course not, and that's to say naught of what Emet-Selch plans for the Exarch's power. Do we stand by and let him threaten our future as well as our past? Says Alice. We need to find him, Mercy, and when we do, make your mark. Change the course of history in a way that's felt by those who came before, and those who came after, by everyone you've ever met. She stares into her soul. Change things so that even my other self, dying somewhere in that future calamity, will smile and say, I knew you would win. That's deep. It's heavy, yo. Reen has been looking down this whole time. Is fighting Emet-Selch the only way? She looks up finally at us. He created an entire city. It will take everything we have to defeat him, if we even can. And if you push that hard in your current state, the light will break free. Y'shtola, the decision to press on lies with you, just as it lies with each and every one of us. On the screen, the camera pans to each and every one of the Scions. Thancred is the first to nod. Reen is looking down again, hand to chest, lost in thought. I look to, I guess, the main building, and a greater purpose is at an end. We get 2 +8 critical hit materia, and we get our choice of other materia, which once again, how many tenacity materia can I actually have is a question. Skill speed for paladin's pretty nice, so maybe I'll do that. So we get 3 +8 skill speed materia. The quest is over. There are no like bone. Oh, what was that? Oh, we get an ether current, obviously. The sponsor and non-sponsor for this video, and I apologize again for like kind of bouncing back and forth, but I didn't want to like be voicing what that being was saying while we heard like, oh, it's wrong. That was a bad imitation. I'm so sorry, but it's just too distracting. So like, alt tabbing was the best. Anyway, sponsor non-sponsor is SlimFast High Protein Shakes. These are like a bottle or a container of powder, and it comes with its own scoop. 1 scoop per 8 ounces of cold water. You can have like some crushed ice if you want to, like make it more shaky. But I think the cold water has been perfect for me. It's delicious. Great after workout morning kind of just like I work out for an hour every morning, and then I just, if I feel like building some muscle rather than just like burning fat, I'll take one of these little protein shake things. Most of the time I'm burning fat though, or trying to, so I don't really take anything that will interrupt that process, although protein probably wouldn't super interrupt it. Anyway, they're delicious. I get the chocolate, creamy chocolate. I'm sure any flavor you choose with the link in my description, I will still get a small cut, so it's one way to support the channel. If you enjoy my videos, I'll see you next time.